Now, I'm the one that's about to be surprised because I have no idea what he is going to talk about. He has not shared this with me. So I told Ivan, I says, I need this recorded. One, that if he loses brownie points, which he does all the time, I can watch this and he can gain some back, or I can use it as blackmail, one or the other. Here, you can have this.
You done?
Yeah, I'm done. You're on.
I always wanted to do a TED Talk, but it occurred to me, not one of those guys is Ted. So I'm going to call this Bud Talk. And yeah, there's a few surprises. So I approached it, first of all, by saying, what did you volunteer for? Telling about Brenda Hammond in 10 minutes is sort of like putting War and Peace into 10 words. Anyway, I digress. When Brenda and I first got together, it'd be about 22 years, almost 22 years ago. None of our kids liked us. None of our kids talked to us, or at least with nothing civil anyway. And we started from there. We had a tough time. And I'm happy to say that's not the case now. However, in the ongoing effort to reach out, we managed to convince one of my two daughters, Erin, to meet us for coffee downtown. So we still lived out wherever we lived, and we drove in and parked on Jasper Avenue and met Erin for coffee. My other daughter is Megan. So anyway, with some trepidation all around, we did manage to meet for coffee, had a civil word. They hadn't met Brenda yet, and I was keen to have that happen, figuring that would help my case. Anyway, that went off sort of without a hitch, and my two daughters are quite close, and so when she got back home, on goes the telephone, and the first question out of Megan's mouth was, what's she like? And Erin thought for a minute, and she said, you know what? This is the understatement of the decade. You know what? He's going to be busy. And that's a fact. One of my business heroes years gone by is a fellow by the name of Lee Iacocca, and he was chairman during troubled time for Chrysler Corporation, and he resurrected the corporation, made it profitable again. We all remember the K car, I suppose. That was his instrument to bring Chrysler back to respectability. Anyway, one of his favorite sayings is, in life as well as in business, you lead, or you follow, or you get out of the way. Well, occasionally I lead. More often I follow. And sometimes I just get the hell out of the way. One of Brenda's favorite sayings is, how hard can it be? There's stories. Oh, smoke. Anyway, we got out there. The first thing we did was run about half, 2/3 of a mile of fencing, post and rail. Didn't have a house yet, but anyway, we were building fence because we need to move the horses in there. That's another story. But and then we built, as the house got in there, we ran water to the fence line so we could water horses. And first, we needed a little shack to cover up the spigot and all of that. So we built that. Curiously, we bought a kit at Rona, thinking, because we're just sort of feeling our way here. The kit was absolutely useless. And we ended up taking that wood and some more and just sticking something up. And it's still standing, so I guess that was good. And then we built a storage shed, and we needed a place to put tools and lawnmower. that kind of stuff. And so that went okay. Not long after, she said, you know what? Because we were fighting with square hay bales, at that time squares, and wrapping them with tarpaulin. Well, we get horrendous winds there sometimes, and this thing's flapping and making lots of noise, and the horses are going, holy crap, what are you doing there? And so she said, you know, we need a hay barn. And I'm thinking, okay, and in my head I haven't sort of converted that yet. She said it needs to be 40 cubits by 80 cubits. I want it 14 feet high, the walls. So that means with the peak, you're going up to about 18 feet. So anyway, long story short, we built the frame, used post and rail. The posts were sort of 8-inch square posts, a whack of them down each side and across the back and so on. And then we decided to tin it. So we bought a load of tin, and the walls went really well. We had a little more trouble with the roof because it starts at 14 feet in the air. And these are 10 feet, I guess, these pieces of tin. So I thought, how the heck is the two of us, we had no tractors or equipment, how are we going to get them up there? So I thought, no problem, I got some clamps in there, so we'll just put some clamps onto the end of a piece of tin, tie some string, and haul it up. Well, it was a little breezy that day. And the clamps were really good until the top of the tin reached 14 feet. And then you got to sort of go from there and lean it over so it can be on the roof. Well, at that point, the piece of tin let go of the clamps, or the clamps let go of the tin, and the tin's going like this all the way down, and I'm yelling, Brenda, to get out of the way, get out of the way. So we ended up screwing, putting metal screws into the end of the tin panel, and using baler twine, I think, to pull the thing up, and it withstood getting it, and on it went. We've since built another shed. We built a storage shed that's full of our kids' stuff, so now we need another shed. So that's coming. We then built a tack shed. That went okay, and then it got converted to a casita, because when we built a barn, it was originally for horses. It's more of a storage and party barn at the moment. It may eventually house a horse, but I'm not sure. So how hard can it be? I'm here to tell you, damn hard. If you're learning about Brenda, you have to learn about the look. Now, I don't know if women go to school to learn this or not, but the look is withering. We can be in a restaurant and there's kids misbehaving. She gives that kid the look. Kid goes back and sits down, gets quiet. So if you ask about the look, what's bothering you, then she says nothing. You know you're in deep caca then. With Brenda, you have to learn to read between the lines. So if she says, you know, if we wanted, translation, get the hell home because we're building now. If she says, well, I've been thinking that you don't have to go home right now, but better not make any plans for the weekend. It's often said that Rome wasn't built in a day, and I would submit to you that's because Brenda wasn't the contractor. But when she's building her room, and this is a room full here right now, she does it with compassion. She does it with honesty. She leads by example. and she leads with heart. And she's the love of my life. Have a great, amazing, wonderful afternoon.